It's Christmas time again, and I think it's the perfect time of the year to make some brownies and cookies. Hi guys, my name is Shuan and welcome to my channel.
Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me.
So yes, you heard it correctly. We'll be making some brownies and cookies. I think this is the perfect giveaway that you can give or give someone for Christmas. So for the recipes that we'll be making, we will be using a very special ingredient, which is marshmallows. Yes, we'll be using marshmallows for our cookies and brownies. For the cookies, I've been baking cookies before and I love baking cookies. But for today, this will be my first time to make chocolate chip cookies with marshmallows. So please bear with me and I hope this turns out real good because I've been imagining this for quite some time now. And for the brownies, I've already made this a few times already. We'll just follow the same recipe that I've used already before on my previous vlog. If you're following me on my channel, then you know what I'm talking about. And before, I'm actually selling some Choco Mallow Brownies as well. But it's been a long while and I hope this turns out really good too, because same with the cookies, I've been imagining the Choco Mallow Brownies. So I'm very excited to share this with you guys and I hope you like this. But before we begin, if you are not subscribed yet to my channel guys, please do so by clicking the link down below and don't forget to hit on the notification bell so you can be updated on when I post a new one. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Now without further ado, let's start baking. Okay, let's start first with our cookies. For our ingredients, you will need 1 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, half cup water. You need to have this in a room temperature. Then about half cup of firmly packed light brown sugar and 6 tablespoons granulated sugar. For this, I'll be using the white one. You also need about 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon of the vanilla, and lastly, we'll need about 1 1/2 cup of the semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm using the small ones. You can add more if you want more chocolatey. Now for this recipe, since we'll be making large cookies, we can make about up to 18 cookies for this. So you will need about 18 of marshmallows. This is the large ones that I'll be using. Now let's start prepping the ingredients. Normally, you will need to preheat the oven first to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or about 177 degrees Celsius. But since we'll not be baking this right away, you can opt to do that later on. Okay, to start with, in a medium-sized bowl, just sift the flour, baking soda, and salt together. There. You may add in the baking soda and the salt. Now set this aside. Then on another mixing bowl, just mix the butter and the egg together. Normally you will need to use a mixer, electric mixer to do this, but I want to do this manually. So we will mix the butter and the egg together using a spatula. You may add in the 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Then you may add in your sugar. First is the red sugar or the light brown sugar. The next is the granulated sugar or white sugar. I can smell now the vanilla. So good. Now you may slowly add the flour mixture to our wet mixture. So a little bit of the flour first. Just remember to not over mix our batter. And add more of the flour mixture. You just need to gently fold them together until they're mixed completely. And just pour all the flour mixture into our bowl and mix them gently but thoroughly. Now you may put in your chocolate chips. There you go. And just continue mixing them all together. Like I've mentioned before, if you want this to be more chocolatey, then you may add more of the chocolate chip. Instead of making it 1 and 1.5 cup, you can do about 2 cups of the chocolate chip, depending on what's the size of the chocolate chip you will be using. Since I'm using the smaller one, then this would be enough. Actually, I prefer the smaller ones, the smaller chocolate chip. It's much easier to mix them with the batter. Okay, now I would like to transfer it back to this mixing bowl because it has the seal or the lid. Because we need the batter to cool or chill in the fridge. Let's transfer the batter to another mixing bowl. Then put the lid on. And you can chill this in the fridge for about 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, so while we wait for our cookie batter to cool off or to chill, we will start preparing the ingredients for our brownies. Okay, for our Choco Mallow Brownies, you will need about 10 tablespoons of the all-purpose flour, 5 tablespoons of the light brown sugar, 5 tablespoons of the white sugar, about half of this butter, then about 35 grams of the chocolate bar, dark chocolate bar, 2 medium-sized eggs, 2 tablespoons of the maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, half teaspoon of salt, then about, I think we'll be using 16 of the marshmallows. And lastly, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. To begin with, you need to preheat your oven to 170 degrees Celsius. Now let's start preparing the ingredients. You can opt out to sift the flour, that's fine, but I want to sift it just to have a smooth texture of the batter. You can sift it along with the salt as well. You can also sift the chocolate powder or the cocoa powder. You can smell the cocoa, OMG. It smells so good. Just mix them together. Now set this aside Now in a smaller bowl, whisk the 2 eggs. Then add in your butter, along with the 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Make sure the butter is in room temperature so that you can easily melt it, and mix it with our flour mixture. Once you incorporated the egg with the butter, you may add in the sugar. On my previous vlog, I did try to melt the butter in the microwave oven first before adding the egg and the other ingredients. But for today, we will not be doing that. We'll just let the butter melt naturally. Okay, you may add in the sugar, but first put in the dark chocolate. We added the dark chocolate bar because we wanted to start melting as well. This will add more chocolatey flavor to our brownies. Okay, you may add in our sugar. Okay, once you have mixed the wet ingredients together, you may start pouring it in onto our flour mixture or our dry ingredients. Just make sure that the batter is well mixed, but don't overdo it. You don't want an over-mixed batter for this. Just gently fold them, making sure all the ingredients are incorporated. Don't worry about the chocolate bar, it will melt as well once it is baking. Okay, so our batter is already done and ready. Now let's prep our baking tray. Okay, with an 8 by 8 inch pan, just grease it with butter. I'm using the excess butter from our cookies. Nothing is going to waste. You need to grease the pan very well in order for our brownies not to stick to our pan. I actually love giving away cookies and brownies for Christmas because they will really remember you for what you gave them, especially if they're really good. Now, if you do not have this brush, you may easily wipe this down on your pan. Very easy and less hassle in washing the dishes, but I like to use the greasing brush. Okay, all done. Now let's pour in our batter. So just tap it a little. Then let's now put our marshmallow. I actually do this before I bake the brownies. So we'll need about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 rows. So I think about 4 would be enough. Then another 4 on this side. So you can make about 16 cuts, small cuts of brownies. The marshmallow will be roasted on top of our brownies, so it's really good. It's like you're eating s'mores without the gray ham. So there you have it. So we'll just bake this in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the brownies are all done. While we wait for our brownies to bake, we will start preparing the cookies for baking as well. Okay, so our cookie batter is now chilled. Now, with your baking sheet, line it with a parchment or baking paper. This way you don't need to twist it anymore. Then, you may start scooping the batter. Then scoop a generous portion of the cookie dough, then flatten it a bit, get one marshmallow, and start to. You don't need to cover it entirely, just shape it like a round one like this one. You can make about 6 of this, same size. If you're not sure about the size of the dough that you want to use, I'm using here about the 1/8 cup. But if you have a large ice cream scoop, then you can use that as well. Then just follow the same procedure like so. I think you can only do about 15 cookies, more or less 15 cookies for this if you will do this same size. But you can use a smaller version of the mallow so you can make more cookies. But this one is a big one, so that's fine. By the way, this is also good to make it as a business. If you want to sell it, you can. Okay, there you have it. Our cookies is now ready to be baked. Let's just wait for our brownies to be done, then you can put it in the oven. So these are brownies is not yet done. We'll put in our cookies now so we can bake it. We can start baking it. I set it for 15 minutes. I think that would be enough for our cookies to bake as well. After 5 to 10 minutes, you can pull out the brownies from the oven and let the cookies bake until it's done. Okay guys, here's our brownies. Now, it's still a bit hot, but I want to try and cut it now. As you can see, the marshmallow melted. So we'll start with scraping the edge first. Because some of the marshmallow stick to the edge. Then we'll start in the middle first. I'm just using a dough cutter to cut my brownies, but that's okay. I want to cut it while it's still hot, so later on you can just remove it from the pan. I love the smell of the newly baked brownies. Okay, now our cookies is done as well. I like it that it's still soft, a bit soft, that's fine. So we'll just set this aside first. Then let's get our cookies from the oven. Here we go, guys. As you can see, the marshmallow expanded in the middle of the cookies. I know it's not even, but that's fine. As I've said earlier, this is just a test. This is the first time I'll be doing this, and I like how it turned out. Now, if you do not want your cookies to expand like this, I would suggest not to put it in the fridge or chill it. Instead, you can bake it right away. But if you want this to be more chewier and much more bigger, then I would suggest put it in the fridge first and let it chill. Okay, so let's transfer this in the cooling rack. I will remove it in the paper later on once they're cool enough. For now, let's just have it sit there. So here it is, guys, our two easy recipes, the chocolate chip mallow cookies and the Choco Mallow Brownies. I hope you are inspired to make this for the holidays and give it to your special one. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel guys, and follow me on Instagram at mySilverSweetLife. Thanks again guys for watching, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye!